Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to episode 5 of Civilization 5. We're playing as Venice and we're trying to attempt the one city challenge. We're continuing straight off from where we left on the last video, so let's hit next turn. We're waiting for this trireme to heal up, we're waiting for a workshop to complete in Venice, and we're waiting for our warriors to heal up so we can go down and smash this barbarian camp down here. We've taken some cultural policies in the patronage tree because we are going to try and get many of the city-states on board. This is not necessarily because we're going for a diplomatic victory, but there are two very good reasons for this. First of all, because we're limited to one city and we don't have an awful lot of space, it means it's in our best interests for us to get as many city-state allies as possible. They will supply us with additional things such as culture and faith, additional military units, not to mention some valuable luxury and strategic resources that we can't get on our own. Second to that, we are up against Greece, who is currently the highest scorer in the game, and they often play for a diplomatic victory. The more city-states I have on my side, the less city-states Alexander has, and the less likely he is to win. Well, with a diplomatic victory anyway. We've now got ourselves Leonardo da Vinci, a great engineer. You are going to sleep in the city. I will be using you later, most likely to rush a wonder. Or saying that, should we actually use you for a manufactory? Because this, as we have already discussed, is one of the big problems that we currently have in this game, that we have very little production here in Venice. So while I think about that, let's just go and have a look at the production and see what we could build. We don't have any immediate wonders that we could rush. We will have Notre Dame coming up at some point, but again, I'm not sure whether or not that needs to be rushed. It might have already been built as well. I'm not certain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to this hill, because that's just a forest, not a jungle, and we're going to use our great engineer and make that into a manufactory. These guys are going to go around and just pop up maybe a couple of lumber mills, and we could put another mine over here actually. That wouldn't be a bad thing. It would certainly give us options for production. You have now healed up, so let's get back out there and make sure that the waters are free from barbarians. We do need to get some more trade routes up and running as well. We're quite short on those, and we really need to start making bank if we are going to deal with Alexander and the fact that he just allies with every single city-state on the map. And that's probably why he has such a high score. He's probably getting so much from all of those city-states. It's absolutely unbelievable. You guys are just going to continue to work your way around here. So that was a pretty uneventful turn. It's going to take a little while for these guys to heal up, but they did get a promotion from some random barbarians that were wandering around. They managed to kill those. We're just about staying off the bottom of the scoreboard at the moment. Now, a lot of people who maybe don't play a lot of Civilization do tend to watch these and go, you're down near the bottom of the scoreboard, you're 150 turns in, you've already lost. That is not the way it works. Certainly, the score is a reflection of how well you're doing, but what you have to remember at high difficulty levels, the AI has bonuses, the player has handicaps. So the AI has a head start, and what you're doing is trying to catch up. So starting off with a low score does not mean it is an instant loss. I think what we're going to go for here is actually go into the market. I do keep saying that I want the extra faith, which we need the temple for, but I think we're actually going to go and build the market at this point. Leonardo has arrived, so if we build a manufactory here, we will actually lose the one food from the forest, but at the same time we will gain 20 production instantly from removing the forest. We will gain 5 production from the manufactory, and there's already 1 production there, so this now becomes a 6 production tile, and it's given us a bonus 20 production gone straight into Venice, and that's instantly knocked 2 turns off building the market, which is fantastic. What we also need to do as well is just make sure that I've got that tile locked in, which is something that I didn't check. We can probably do that now. It wasn't locked, but they were working it. We'll make sure that remains locked. And now that Venice's borders have expanded to this hill, we are working it for the production, and we'll definitely go and build a mine on there. As I said in the previous video, I really want to avoid... Let's go down to here. As I said in the previous video, I really want to avoid ripping up these jungles in order to build farms, because the jungles are actually giving us food and culture from our pantheon. They will also soon be giving us science from universities. So what we're going to do, instead of ripping them up for farms, we are going to put in trading posts and lumber mills where we can, and we are going to rely on food coming from our sea resource tiles. So we've completed physics. What should we go into now? We probably should start getting some of these early techs done because we've actually got quite a lot that we are well behind on. So let's go into trapping and horseback riding, even though we don't have any horses. We could go into civil service. We don't have any farms though, so the civil service isn't all that important right now. We will want to get into education as quick as possible, so we're going to click education. That'll automatically backfill all of the technologies we need for that, and then we can start working on our universities, because right now, if we look at the demographics, we're not actually the most illiterate. That's actually Sweden at the moment. Greece certainly is well out ahead of everybody at the moment. We do have the smallest army as well. We are going to have to build some units, and I definitely think that that is something I am neglecting at this point, simply because I've only got one city and I'm saving up my money. I really need to get out a couple of military units, a couple of ships, just so that we look a little bit stronger and don't get declared on by the AI, because that could be a real disaster if that happens. We only have one city, so we do need to be careful. You are going to literally just sleep for the time being, because I don't have anything else for you to do. This cargo ship is going to continue to Hanoi, because Hanoi is offering the most gold, and you managed to work that route safely last turn. The market will be completed on this next turn, then we can have a look and see if Notre Dame is still available. A spy has now been recruited. And we should probably go ahead and spy on the tech leader. How are we actually doing? We already have... who is the tech leader? I think it is the Shoshone. Demographics. Yes, the Shoshone is the furthest ahead. So we are going to move our spy into sort by civilization. And find the Shoshone Mosankani. In you go, as a spy. Hopefully we can steal some technology from them. Notre Dame is possible to build. The Great Merchant Points would be very useful for us as well. Once we start making money, things are going to be absolutely fine. You guys are going to go ahead and make a mine. Do we have enough money to purchase a... We can purchase a spearman. I suppose that isn't a terrible thing to do. I'd prefer an archer. Our composite bowman's 320, so we might just save up and then rush by an archer to sit in the capital. And I think that will we'll still have the smallest army, but at least we'll be a bit more defended should we be attacked. So we could just get a lot of wonders, and that will start helping us up. We don't have a religion of our own yet either, which is one of the reasons why we're not all that high up on the scoreboard, but that is something that hopefully can and will change. There are still a few religions left to be founded. We're getting 3 faith a turn, mainly because we also have Machu Picchu. Once we get Notre Dame, assuming that we do, not sure how quickly the AI tends to beeline physics, and we have met Gandhi, so prepare for incoming nukes. Let's propose an embassy. He is happy with that. And he is down there. Okay. I have played against Gandhi a few times before in games of Civ. Not all that often, though, to be honest. Glad I've gone around there, because we've now just discovered that they have some horsemen. Maybe we can go around there and sink them if we're quick enough. Bear in mind, that's just an embarked land unit. It isn't actually a naval unit, which means it can't move as fast as boats. It's almost dead, though. It looks like the Shoshone are going to take it down, and they are, so that's fine. We'll bring this trireme back to where it was. Alhambra is being completed somewhere. That is fine. It's the Shoshone that's completed it. You want to give me 1 iron for open borders. I don't really need the open borders, and I'm not in a huge rush for the iron. So at this point, I am going to say, no thanks, it's okay. We have discovered quite a lot of the Civs. There's still 2 of them we have yet to find, which does give us a science bonus by finding them, so we should do that. Will you get the flanking bonus, actually? No, I was wondering if we'd actually get a flanking bonus because there is another unit at the side of them, but the ships don't count, unfortunately. They are well defended, but like I said, we can heal up between turns, so... As long as they don't just suddenly start spawning lots of units and archers and stuff like that, we should be okay here. We're on a hill for the extra defense. Unfortunately, so are they, which makes it a little bit of a pain. So we will have to sort of heal up in between turns. And there we go. Of course. Of course. Pocatello is building Angkor Wat, which we are not. Now, these guys are hand axes. Hand axes are a ranged unit. So let us move over here onto this hill, just away from these brutes. Hand axes can attack you without getting attacked back. We don't want to lose these guys, but there might not be anything we can do about it at this point. You are going to sleep there. If it looks like these guys might die, I'm just going to run away, because I really can't afford to waste the production and lose myself the warrior at this point. Public declaration from India. Yeah, the hand axes are attacking, which is perfectly reasonable, of course. They don't have any penalty for attacking there because they're ranged. So let us move back to this hill, and we can try... they shouldn't... Well, they are on a hill. They only have a range of 1, though, so they would have to move in to attack. Let's go on to the next turn. Worst case scenario, I move into Hanoi. It will sort of damage our rep with Hanoi, but Hanoi will then probably help us to take out the hand axes with their city defences, so not the end of the world. They're actually attacking my trireme, which is a good thing. It means that I can actually survive for a turn. We've completed theology. Let's get these guys to fortify until healed. You guys have now built that mine. So what should you probably come and do next? In fact, you're going to go and connect those spices up. It is out of range of the city. We can't work it, but we will have an additional spices for trade. We're going to go ahead at this point now and purchase our composite bowman. And he may actually make a quick trip across the water to go and help deal with these barbarians. Greece has completed Hagia Sophia, which is great. Exactly what he needs. A few more points to add to his collection. You're still going for the trireme. That's fine. You keep doing that. I'll move the trireme away before it gets destroyed. You guys are already doing your thing. You guys are going to embark. And we need to get you across the water to come and help out over here. Samarkand and Greece are now allies. I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but it was inevitable at some point that it would. We're going to have to work very, very hard to keep these city-states on board, but once we actually start making decent money, that won't be a problem. I'm not terribly convinced that this guy is going to be able to take another hit at this point, so I'm actually going to give him +1 mobility, and I'm going to move him away from those hand axes. Let's go on to the next turn here. As soon as we can get these composite bowmen into the fight, we've got more chance of actually clearing out that barbarian camp, which will be immensely useful for us. I'm a little bit worried that I'm so far down at the bottom of the scores. It will help a little bit once Notre Dame completes, assuming that we do get it, of course. We were only 2 turns away from getting the Great Lighthouse before somebody else completed it before us, and try and get these bowmen across as quick as possible. They do move rather slow. These hand axes are moving towards us, which is a little bit of a pain. The biggest pain that we have is that they will actually... They can hit us without taking any damage themselves. So what we are going to do is move further away, closer to Hanoi. You guys are going to go ahead and construct a plantation there. Mainly just so we get the spices, because we can't work the tile. A little bit worried about the current state of those barbarians. Hopefully we can deal with them. Got another hill here we could set a mine upon. That's probably what we will do next. A little bit annoying for the workers, because they do have to keep running from one side of the island to the other. But we definitely need them... need that production. It's going to be very, very useful to us. So, Declaration of Friendship has expired. I think that was with... Who was that with? Who we were friends with? I don't even remember. Who was it? Just mouse over, it'll tell us. Japan. We were actually friends with Japan. Let's move back to there and heal up. Let's go and have a word with Japan, because he is still friendly with us. Let us discuss. Declaration of Friendship? Yes, brilliant. Okay. Not that it's serving that much purpose at the moment. I think he only made that declaration originally because he wanted me to give him some gold, which I refused. Now, these guys are actually moving closer towards us, which is a little bit worrying, but there are some Hanoi composite bowmen there, which could help us out. So I'm going to attack them. We do take a little bit of damage from them, which is a bit of a pain. Do we get enough XP to level? Maybe we do, and maybe we can take an instant heal. We'll have to check out how that one is going to work. You guys need to start getting over here as quickly as you can. And I'm going to watch this fight with great anticipation because I really don't want to lose these guys. I've also got the problem that it's very difficult for me to move out of the way because we've got these bowmen directly behind us. They're almost guaranteed to attack because, like I said, they're ranged. They won't actually do any damage, even though they only have a range of 1. At least those bowmen have moved out of the way. No, they've actually moved away from me, which is an interesting choice. We did get Notre Dame. That is fantastic. We're going to continue to move the bowmen up. You guys actually get a promotion. We're actually going to give you the cover against ranged attacks and heal you up the old-fashioned way. Now that Notre Dame has been completed, what do we go for here? There's quite a lot of things we could do with. We could certainly do with more cargo ships. We could certainly do with getting ourselves the... Not so much the Grand... Well, the Granary could be useful. It's only 2 turns away. We could also do with walls just in case we get attacked. And we could do with the temple. Now, I've been saying I was going to do the temple for quite a while. There's also the East India Company as well. There's so much things. Not much point having the East India Company until we've got ourselves a few more cargo ships. So let's go ahead and get the temple. Just because I've been saying for a while that I was going to get one and I still haven't. It's only 3 turns away, so it's not too terrible or too unrealistic to try and head for the temple. Let's get that done and out of the way. Let's just have a quick look and see what's going on over here. At least if they do come and attack now, we will have a bit more cover from them. Hanoi moving their bowmen around. They have moved close, so they won't be able to attack on this turn, of course. We're still healing up, so that is fine. Let's go straight on to the next turn. Every turn, our composite bowmen are getting closer so that they can help deal with this barbarian problem. Even getting Notre Dame wasn't enough of a score to get me off the bottom. Now, it does look like Alexander and Pocatello and maybe whoever this one is getting a bit of a runaway head start. But if you actually look at the bottom 4 players, we're all fairly close together in score. There's actually only 22 points between us and Japan, so it won't be terribly difficult to move up there. You guys are just going to tank these guys out, actually, and we will move these guys up. Maybe they can shoot over that hill, because they are on a hill, so on the next turn, we might be able to shoot them with our composite bows, which would be nice. And then we'll eventually be able to go and wipe this annoying camp out down here. And that will stop a lot of the boats spawning, which will mean our trade routes will be a little bit safer. And we can start trading with Hanoi, and we can start trading with Samarkand. Yep, you're attacking these guys again. That's fine. You're only doing 13 damage per turn and the healing 10. So, can you guys hit from there? Yes, you can. Lovely. So, that's what you're going to do. You're going to start thinning them out. We have stolen a technology from Moss and Carney. Now, what are we going to do? Let's have a look here, because we're already working on education. We've already made 21 progress out of 505, but it is a more expensive technology. We could steal chivalry, or we could just steal education. I think I'm going to steal education because I think it is more instantly useful. And we have finished our temple. So we're going to go straight into the university now, which is why it was ideal to steal that. And we're going to start working on compass, because that will give us our Great Galleus, which is our faction-specific unit. We'll also be able to get the harbour as well. Now, the harbour's not going to be that useful to us, but sea routes will have an increased range and produce an additional 1 gold. So that's the main reason for having that. So let's get compass done. Let's go on to the next turn. We've still got time for another turn or 2 before we have to finish here. Borobudur has been completed by Greece. Angkor Wat has been completed by Pocatello, but then we already knew he was building that. We know that he's still the tech leader. He still has a tech or 2 that we don't have, so it's definitely worth continuing to spy on him, because I don't think we got caught that time around. You guys are going to fire on these. Thank you very much. Can you safely take them out? Yes, you can, so that's what you're going to do. Then you guys will heal up. You guys will move forward so you can start attacking the camp. You've now healed, so you can get back out over here. Can you get any further? No, you cannot. On to the next turn. And then we'll be able to build Oxford University straight away, because we will have a university in every city, or one of them. And building Oxford University straight away means we will be able to choose a free tech. Now, it's worth noting that you want to make sure that you have the best tech available to take. Now, what are we going to get here? All city-state allies provide a science bonus equal to 25% of what they produce for themselves. We don't have any allies at the moment, so let's increase the resting point. Now, if we actually just look at the technology tree here, if we actually complete Compass, then once we build Oxford University, we will literally be able to buy astronomy because we get a free tech. So we'll be able to buy astronomy, and that will allow us to then go and queue up an observatory straight away. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. You guys are going to heal up. You guys are going to move forwards. You're going to come... yeah, there you go. You're going to come down here, keep your eye on this camp, just so we can see what is going on. On to the next turn. Was rather hoping that we'd be able to wipe this camp out before the end of the video, but it doesn't look like that's necessarily going to be able to happen, but we're certainly going to give it our best anyway. Now, if these guys get on the hill, this is flat, so you should be able to, on your next turn, shoot directly across into the camp. That's fine. You're just going to do nothing. So I've got another minute or two left before I end this video, so maybe we'll even have enough time to get the university produced. That's going to help things immensely at this point. Have enough money that we could potentially throw some at a city-state. And to be honest, that is what I'm tempted to do. We've got ourselves a great profit. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to give 500 gold to these guys. We at least now have an ally, so that is a start. We've got ourselves a great profit. Do we build a holy site, or do we found a religion? I think we're going to found a religion at this point while we still can. And we are going to go for whatever we can find. And as usual, just because I'm really unimaginative, we are going to call it Vaultology. And what are we going to take? Well, we've already got one culture from Jungle Tiles. Global happiness for every 2 cities following. Well, we're probably not going to have a religion that spreads very much. So having anything that relies on converting cities or having lots of followers at other cities isn't necessarily going to help. Culture from every 5 followers in other civilizations does look like a lot of the good ones have gone, doesn't it? 1 gold for every 4 followers. Now that could be at your own city. So if you've got 12 followers in your own city, that could be useful. We are going for gold, so I think we probably will actually take tithe. It seems like quite a good one. Now, follower belief. Temples provide 2 culture in cities with 5 followers. Each world wonder provides 2 faith in a city. Shrines and temples provide 1 food. Plus 2 production if the city has a specialist. Amphitheatres provide faith. Monasteries, we don't have wine or incense. Some of these things could be really nice, though. So could swords into plowshares come to that. 1 production for each follower. I think that's what we're going to take, actually. Because we already have 16 followers here, so that means we get 15... was it 15 production or 15% production? I've forgotten already. How good is that? Beliefs, religion, Vaultology, plus 1% production for each follow-up to a max of 15%. So we've got 16 followers, which means we now have 15% extra production in this city. So that is fantastic. You're going to stay there again. Actually, I'm just going to put you to sleep for now. You guys can hit this camp. So that's what you're going to do. Let's go on to the next turn. I know I said I was going to end this video. You're unhappy that I'm allies with Florence. I do apologise. Didn't realise they were yours. And even if I did, I wouldn't care. You want to give me iron for spices. As much as I would love iron, I would prefer your gold even more. And I hate that this globe doesn't have an actual corner so you can click in the right box. There we go, an extra 7 gold per turn. Now we can trade. It's actually going to start helping us be able to get some trade routes up and running. We are now up to 4th, and in fact, we're only 25 points behind 5th place. So there is a good chance here that we can start making our way up. Founding a religion really does help. It just proves that we weren't as far behind as it looked like we were. You guys are going to take another shot. Start trying to get these guys here, but they've got to cross the river. It's going to be quite slow for them. Venice has finished the university. Oxford University is only 4 turns away. We're only 1 turn away from Compass, so we're definitely going to go straight into Oxford University. And these guys have now finished with the spices. So you're going to go over here and build on this hill. And that is the end of the turn, and therefore the end of the video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you're still enjoying the One City Challenge in Civilization 5. And I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.